At Amarna, the pharaoh had created his own universe and placed himself and his family squarely in the center of it.
In every depiction from Amarna, anyone outside of the royal family is shown bent over, bowing constantly to both Akhenaten and the royal family. So he seems to have required that people bow and scrape in his presence in a way that we had never seen with previous pharaohs.
The Sun King had 4 large palaces within his city, each serving its own personal and spiritual purpose. The only one that still survives in any discernible form is the North Palace. Remnants of animal stalls and spectacular wall paintings with wild birds have been found here, suggesting that this was the pharaoh's private nature retreat. But there are also the remains of a lavish garden and the foundation of a colonnaded throne room where Akhenaten might have received important visitors. The pharaoh's obsession with excess also extended to Amarna's houses of worship. A couple miles south of the North Palace lie the ruins of a complex known as the Small Aten Temple. The word small is a misnomer. The complex covers almost 70,000 square feet, an area more than twice the size of the White House. The whole temple was once surrounded by a mud brick enclosure wall. Inside were 3 courtyards, separated by towering walled gateways called pylons.
In Egyptian religious belief, the pylons are associated with the 2 mountains of the horizon. So as the god traveled in and out of the temple through these pylons, it was like the sun disk rising and setting into the hills of the horizon.
Inside the temple's first pylon was a court with rows of brick offering tables and a ramp that ascended to a high brick altar. Beyond the next one was another court containing a house for the resident priest. Within the third was the heart of the temple, the Holy of Holies, where the spirit of Aten dwelled. Archaeologists think the Small Aten Temple might have been intended to serve as a permanent shrine to Akhenaten's spirit. But the tyrannical pharaoh would not be worshipped in death, as he had been in life. In the 2nd decade of his reign, he began to lose his grip on absolute power.
It seems that Akhenaten started to take his religion more and more seriously and thus avoided any of the responsibilities of state. He just ignored what was going on beyond the boundaries of his city. So Egypt's empire shrank because a lot of the other people in the powers of the Near East started eating away at it.
Many of the details of Akhenaten's last years remain elusive, but one is undeniable. His mysterious death in 1336 BC unleashed a wave of pent-up hatred among his former subjects.
His statues were broken off and buried in the ground, smashed up.
Inside the tomb of Mary-Ra, the pharaoh's high priest, the walls are covered with scenes of life during Akhenaten's reign. The most telling of all the images is that of Akhenaten riding a chariot, with his head and body scratched out. While it was too late to punish the pharaoh in life, there was still time to devastate his afterlife.
Destroying an image of a dead person is really a horrible act in Egyptian thinking because it kills the possibility of the soul returning to its eternal home. So we know that this was about the most brutal thing that could be done to a person after their death.
After crippling his spirit, Akhenaten's subjects abandoned his city. Within a few years after the pharaoh's death, Amarna looked like a ghost town in the Wild West.